You are not escaping because you are weak. I need you to hear that first. Because if you have made it through this playlist, through 8 videos about the loudest parts of your mind, you are not someone who runs from hard things. You are someone who has been carrying a loud mind for a very long time. And the escape, the scroll, the noise, the endless input was the only thing that gave you any relief. Still. And here is the part no one says out loud. It worked. For a few minutes, it actually worked. The noise quieted. The weight lifted. You felt better. The problem is not that you escaped. The problem is what was happening inside your mind every single time you did. Still. When the brain tries to suppress a thought through distraction, the thought does not disappear. It gets tagged. The brain marks it as unresolved, as urgent, as something too important to let go. And when the distraction ends, when the scroll stops, when the noise fades, when you finally put the phone down and the room goes quiet, it comes back. Louder than before. More insistent than before. More charged than before. Still. Psychologists call this the rebound effect. The harder you try not to think about something, the more aggressively it returns. You were not imagining it. Every single time you ran, the thing you ran from was getting stronger. Still. Think about the last time you had a genuinely quiet evening. No phone, no noise, nothing. And out of nowhere, something surfaced. An old conversation, a decision still unmade, a feeling you were certain you had already dealt with. You reached for the phone. The feeling faded. You felt relief. And the next quiet moment, it came back. Stronger. Faster. Harder to ignore. Still. That is not anxiety spiraling out of control. That is not you being broken. That is your mind doing exactly what it was designed to do. Trying to show you something that needs to be seen. And every time you looked away, it came back louder. Because it had no other choice. Still, here is the truth that changes everything. Your mind does not need to be silenced. It needs to be heard. Still, think of a child pulling at your sleeve. The more you ignore it, the harder it pulls. Louder, more insistent, more disruptive. But the moment you stop, turn around, kneel down, and say, I see you. It stops. Not because the problem is solved, because it was finally acknowledged. Still, your mind is that child. Every unprocessed thought, every unresolved feeling, everything you have been escaping is pulling at your sleeve. The scroll, the noise, the constant stimulation, that is you walking faster and pretending you cannot hear it. And it will keep pulling, no matter how fast you walk, no matter how loud the noise gets, until you turn around. Still. So here is how you turn around. The next time the noise gets loud, the next time the urge to escape arrives, do not reach for the phone. Instead, one sentence, out loud or on paper, right now, in this moment. I am feeling. Name exactly what it is. Because of. Name exactly what caused it. Not to solve it, not to fix it, not to make it disappear. Just to acknowledge it is real. Still, I am feeling overwhelmed because I have too many things unresolved. I am feeling anxious because I cannot see what comes next. I am feeling empty because I have been too busy to notice I was empty. One sentence. The most honest sentence you have written today. Still. And then, stay. Because here is what happens the moment you turn toward it. Instead of away, it changes. Not gone, not resolved, but smaller, less urgent, less capable of driving you back toward escape. Still. Because it was never the thought that had the power. It was the running. Every time you ran, you told your brain, this is dangerous. This cannot be faced. This must be avoided at all costs. And your brain believed you and protected you from it by making it louder every time quiet arrived. The moment you stop running, the moment you turn and say, I see you, you send your brain a different message. This is survivable. This can be faced. This does not require escape. And slowly, not overnight, not after one try, the noise loses its hold. Not because it disappears, because you stopped giving it the power that only running could give it. Still, Seneca wrote this nearly 2,000 years ago. Retire into yourself as much as possible. Not escape. Retirement. Still. The difference is everything. Escape runs away from the interior. It says, I cannot face what is in there. Retirement moves toward it. It says, I am going in, deliberately, without flinching, to see what is actually there. Still. The Stoics did not flee their minds. They inhabited them. Completely. Honestly. Without the protection of noise. And every time they went in without flinching, what they found was not the monster they feared. It was quieter than expected. More spacious than the noise had suggested. Not empty. Not perfect. But theirs. Fully, finally theirs. Still. You have been living next to your own mind for a very long time. Close enough to feel its weight. Far enough to never have to face it directly. The scroll keeps the distance perfect. Present enough to feel alive. Removed enough to never fully arrive. Still. This is the last video in this playlist. And I want to say something to you directly. Most people never look this closely at themselves. Most people spend their entire lives perfecting the distance, the exact right amount of noise, the exact right amount of busyness to stay close enough to feel present without ever having to actually be here. You just watched 8 videos. 8 honest confrontations with the loudest, most uncomfortable parts of your own mind. That is not casual. That is not nothing. That is rare. Still, you are not someone who needs the noise to function. You are someone who has been using the noise to avoid functioning fully. Those are not the same thing. One is a limitation. The other is a habit. And the moment you decide that the discomfort of turning toward is less than the cost of running away, the habit breaks. You already know the cost of running. You have been paying it every single day. Still, tonight, when the noise gets loud, when the urge comes, try the turn. One sentence. I am feeling. Name it. Because of. Name that. Do not fix it. Just acknowledge it. And stay. Still. If this playlist gave you something real, if even one of these 8 videos named something you had been carrying without a name, drop one word below. Home. Because that is what this entire playlist was always about. Finding your way back to a mind that feels like somewhere you can actually live. Still. Playlist 2 begins where this one ends. With what you build once the noise is no longer running the show. Subscribe to Vision Vortex. Every video here is one thing. Helping you think more clearly, feel more in control, and live without the noise. Still. Lead.